A little light, but not too bad. Not too bad. First off, I'd like to apologize for the slurping. My wife hates the slurping. Uh, and today is our anniversary, so I'll be sure to slurp at least once today to remind her what keeps us together. Mm. Wouldn't slurp, but it's hot, you know. Anyway, good morning. It is a beautiful Friday morning. It's nice outside. Can we just get the fall weather in? Is it? Who do we have to talk to? Is there a manager we can talk to? It's 61 right now, apparently, and it doesn't look like we're getting any sort of cool break anytime soon. You know, it's like it's all mid to upper 80s for the rest of the week and into next week. So, oh well, we can keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll be getting some of that cool weather by the end of November, because already by next week it's already going to be mid-November. What the heck, right? It's like zooming by, but that seems to be how it's been going as of late. Everything's going quicker. So when we're talking, anytime we talk to somebody, it's like everything's going quicker, so much faster. Time is moving fast, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it feels sometimes. But it's all right. We'll get through it, and we shall get past whatever we're getting past today, whatever we're dealing with today. We'll get past it, and they're like, yeah, okay, hopefully. So I looked up a an article on success.com, and again, it's not a new article, but it just kind of goes to show that the topics and the material of interest is universal and timeless. And this one is on stress. We're talking about people having stress. Just there's regular stress, and then there's seasonal stress, and then there's like event based stress. And right now they're all converging. And if you're a person easily affected by stress, that's a big thing. If you're not and you're feeling stressed, what does that tell you? There's a lot of people stressed out there. You start feeling it. There's certain times in my life where I felt an overlying feeling, and usually when it's something of that magnitude, when it's something that affects you, when something happened in the world that it affects you, that you can feel it, it's something. Uh, Usually, it's something kind of bad. You know, like when in the earliest, I guess one of the earliest things I remember is when the news broke of the passing of Selena, because uh, I was going to go on an evening shift on the radio high atop the Hamilton Hotel at the time, and the news had broken and everything started coming out, etc. And I remember driving to my evening shift, which was at 6 p.m., and I could feel sorrow, like if I was literally driving through sorrow, and it was weird. Then of course there was like the unprecedented, I mean, just tragic September 11th, right? That was like stress levels went up sky high. So I looked up this article because right now I'm feeling people stressing out, some more than others, right? And it doesn't seem to be any out as of yet, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any out anytime in the near future for the stress, any release, any viable release, any constructive release. So I looked up this article on stress, and I came up with 19 calming quotes to help you stress less. 19 calming quotes to help you stress less. And basically, it starts with, this. The article, by the way, is by Lydia Sweat, who actually wrote the article I used on Wednesday. I'm gonna have to reach out to her. It's really great stuff. It says, no matter how easygoing you are, life can get stressful. And when stress takes over, even for those who appear to have the calmest center, it can be a chore to find your zen again. It says the emotional demand of stress can build up over time, but if you learn to silence the outside world, if you find an unshakable peace, You'll find a way to return to your happy place no matter what. So basically, it's 19 calming quotes for peaceful vibes. I'm going to share the article in the comments right now so you can check it out for yourself. And you can share these images because obviously they're paired with images. And the first one is from James Carroll. It says, "There are times when we stop, we sit still, we listen, and breezes from a whole other world begin to whisper." Finding time, and I know it's difficult if you have like a responsibilities of a full-time job, a family, a relationship, children, things like that. It's difficult to find that moment, a moment where you can stop, an instance where you can sit still and just listen to yourself. Do the breathing that I recommend, right? Just take a moment. It's difficult. So it says, there are times when we stop, we sit still, we listen, and breezes from a whole other world begin to whisper. What do we listen? What do we hear in those whispers? Is it relaxing? Is it something that you don't necessarily... It's not like you're hearing words or instructions. It's just more of a calming sense to kind of center you, to still you. And that is difficult. Next quote says, "Breath is the power behind all things. I breathe in and know that good things will happen." So Tao Porchon Lynch. And yeah, I was told many, many years ago about, breathing. Not like, hey, don't forget to breathe. Not like that, right? I'm talking about take a moment and be conscious of your breathing. Focus on your breathing. Be intentional with your breathing, and not just the shallow, when we're kind of just living life and doing our job and doing our chores or living life. It's not just just going by. No, like literally stopping and focusing on your breath. Like the quote says, breath is the power behind all things. Just stop. And those deep breaths, you being intentional with your breath, intentional with your breathing. Even if you're not highly stressed, even if you're not wound tightly, or you're anxious or tense. Just calm yourself. Excuse me. The next quote says, it's by Hermann Hesse. It says, "Within you, there's a stillness and a sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time and be yourself." The stereotypical kind of cliche, be one with yourself. Be one with yourself. Be still and be one with yourself. There's truth to that. There's truth to being alone with yourself. And if you do not like to be alone with yourself, if you don't find peace in seeking time with yourself, there's something wrong. That's something you need to address. Within you, there's a stillness and a sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time and be yourself. Who are you? Who are you really? I recently was told about this series of colors. Good morning, sis. You know, the personalities, right? And this particular one uses red, blue, green, and yellow. And red is like driven, ambitious, goal setters, quick decisions. And then there's the negative side, right, of the red. Maybe reactive. Blue is optimistic. Green is intelligent, do your research, things like that, analytical. And yellow is not glory driven, at least not individual glory. It's more of a team glory. And they love animals and love helping others and all that. And then there's the negatives to all of them, like yellow, you're easily wounded, easily offended. Maybe it's not directly about you, but you take it personally. And I was reading when they were just explaining these colors. I go, I'm gonna be yellow and green. Like before I even took the personality test, right? That's exactly what I'm gonna be. And sure enough, I came out yellow and green, and then I think blue and then red, and it's just that's. I think if you know yourself and you know the type of person you are, you know what you bring to people, you know what you bring to relationships, you've gotten in touch with yourself, you can go within you and be still and enjoy the moment. Again, Herman Hesse, within you there is a stillness and a sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time and be yourself. Good morning, comadre. My comadre Tracy joining us says, hey Al, good morning and happy anniversary to you and Marisa. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tracy. We appreciate you. We love you guys. And she beat me today. She told me, no, she didn't beat me. She told me happy anniversary first. That's what I mean. I was like, man, I was thinking about it last night. I want to, be the first one to tell her happy anniversary. And she told me. I was in the shower and she opens the door. She's like, happy anniversary. I was like, oh, I forgot. I was still asleep. She had been up before me. So we find out who we are and the type of person we are. And there's nothing wrong with being one or the other. There's nothing wrong with being, ambitious and goal driven. There's nothing wrong with being optimistic. There's nothing wrong with being analytical. There's nothing wrong with being caring. You just have to figure out who you are. And once you know who you are and you kind of can identify other people by who they are, you know what kind of language you have to speak to them, what kind of emotional language you have to speak to them in, right? So back to what we're talking about in stress and going into yourself and being comfortable with being still with yourself. You got to know. You got to know who you are and be comfortable with who you are. And if you are not comfortable with who you are and you go inside yourself, you close your eyes and you breathe and you're just, again, be one with yourself, and you don't like who that is, there's other work that needs to be done, right? Need to figure out who we are. The next one comes from Ish. It's a Vietnamese name rather, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Han is the last name. It says, feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. Apologize. The whole breathing thing is, I imagine, going to be a running thread through all these calming quotes. These quotes that are trying to help us de-stress, get rid of anxiety, calm ourselves, center ourselves, because it is what powers everything. We have to breathe. Are we conscious of how we breathe? Like I was saying earlier, somebody told me that and said, breathe. You have to stop and take time and breathe consciously. Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. I shared the link on the comments if you want to check them out. Josiah Gilbert Holland says, calmness is the cradle of power. Wow. There's so much truth to that. How many times have you heard, whoever loses their temper in an argument loses the argument? Calmness is the cradle of power. Being able to remain calm in a stressful situation, in an argument. Being able to keep your cool in an argument, not escalating it or not just losing your control, puts you in a position of power. And an argument just in and of itself is a power struggle. Right? One wants a power, the other one wants a power. And if you lose control, you'll lose your grip. Calmness is a cradle of power. Josiah Gilbert Holland. Well, it's a nice picture, a mountain view for this quote. It says, simply let experience take place very freely, so that your open heart is suffused with the tenderness of true compassion. Simply let experience take place very freely, so that your open heart is suffused with the tenderness of true compassion. Very nice. Osho is the quote, the next quote. It says, don't try to force anything. Let life be a deep let go. God opens millions of flowers every day without forcing their buds. Like a wise man once said, you cannot force open the petals of a flower. Don't try to force anything. Let life be a deep let go. God opens millions of flowers every day without forcing their buds. Now, this doesn't mean, to me, this doesn't mean, oh, be a pushover. Let anything happen to you. You know, just whatever happens, happens. That's not what it means to me. It just means don't try to go against the, like don't try to force something unnecessarily. Right? It's like trying to, like if, I don't know, a river's coming towards you and you start slapping the water to go that way. It's like the river's going to go whatever way it's going to go. It's like sometimes you can go with the flow and life will be okay. Sometimes you need to get out of the river. Say, you know what? I think I'm going to go for a walk. All right? Next one is from Sean Mulvihill. It says, understand this and be free. We are not in our bodies. Our bodies are inside us. That may be a little too deep for me. Right? I need Mr. Mulvihill. What exactly does that mean? Understand this and be free. We are not in our bodies. Our bodies are inside us. Brian Tracy said, set peace of mind as your highest goal and organize your life around it. How few people do you think in life have set peace of mind as their highest goal? It'd be interesting to speak to someone, have a converse with someone that set peace of mind as their highest goal and achieved it. You could probably tell right off when you meet them. Set peace of mind as your highest goal and organize your life around it. There's so many things in everyday life, especially like where I'm at, what I do, the way I've lived my life. There's so many things that work against our peace of mind. Even just listening to, news, having to deal with office politics, relationships. And I'm not just talking about your significant other. Every single relationship you have can have with it struggles, can have with it anxieties, can have with it, just things that kind of turbulent or turbulent to your peace of mind. And it is living, right? So we have to try and organize our life around it. Now, it could mean that we're still living our life with turbulence. We're still dealing with turbulence and unsettling things. But then within your life, finding moments where you focus on your conscious breathing. And you take a moment. And even though there's unrest and unease, try and still yourself and clear your mind. The next one says, it's by Mikhail Lermontovov. Many a calm river begins as a turbulent waterfall, yet none hurtles and foams all the way to the sea. I love flowing water, like little streams and things like that. And even even when you see a calm stream, even when you're standing there and it looks placid and it's just flowing, it's a nice little, rivulet or stream. You're seeing it at a distance, so to speak. You're not right in it. You're kind of seeing it as one thing going by. Just like life, right? Within that life, however, if you were to get closer, if you were to put your face closer to the water, or if you were somehow be able to differentiate how the water's flowing as it goes by you serenely, you'll see there's a lot of turbulence nonetheless. The actual flowing of water is an activity. There's activity there. There's power in it. It's eroding the stream bed. It's pulling dirt away. It's as dirt is pulled away, debris, detritus goes with it. There's power and activity and movement and turbulence in there. But we kind of had to step back, right? Step back from the smaller, minute turbulences and see it for what it is. And enjoy what looks like a serene, flowing stream or river. That's life. We all have our turbulences. We all have our anxieties and ups and downs and pulls and pushes and desires and, detractors and, everything. It's all there. But if you can kind of step back from it and not be in every single turbulent thing in your life, you can live life relatively calm, relatively at ease. Many a calm river begins as a turbulent waterfall, yet none hurtles and foams all the way to the sea. Good morning, Erica. Sorry, I have something stuck in my throat. I apologize. The next one is from Ziggy Marley, musician, Bob Marley's son. Doing something that is productive is a great way to alleviate emotional stress. Get your mind doing something that is productive. Okay. Productive. What does that mean to you? What that means to Ziggy Marley, what that means to me, what that means to the stranger in the car next to you at the stoplight, what that means to the person in North Dakota, what that means to the person halfway across the globe is entirely different. What is productive to you? Is it finishing a work project? Is it cleaning the house? Is it writing your thoughts down? Is it drawing something, creating something, banging out on some drums? Is it getting out for a walk, getting some exercise in? Is it having a conversation with somebody that you've been putting off? Doing something that is productive is a great way to alleviate emotional stress. Get your mind doing something that is productive. Take a moment right now. Taking a moment to do some conscious breathing is productive, I feel. The next one is from Robert Elliott. It says rule number 1 is don't sweat the small stuff. Rule number 2 is it's all small stuff. That's basically what we're talking about right now when I said if you were to go into the stream and get up close into the stream and see all the turbulence and all the activity and all the chaos, because it is chaos for the most part. It's all small stuff. If you zoom in to every aspect of your life, it's all small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. I've asked this of so many people. Some get it, some don't. Will you worrying about what's going on change it? Will you worrying about that one thing change it? Affect its outcome in any way? Or is it the equivalent of you tossing a bowling ball down the alley and then doing this? It's not going to affect it in any way, right? Unless you have some sort of magic power. Is you worrying about that one thing that you have on your mind that's causing you consternation and stress and anxiety? Is you worrying about that going to affect the outcome in any way? You have to ask yourself that and be honest. Be honest. Terry Guillemette, I hope I'm pronouncing these names right, and I apologize if I don't. I'm fairly certain, 9 out of 10, I'm going to mess up most of the names. It's my MO. He says, or she says, see, I don't know. They say, give your stress wings and let it fly away. Well, isn't that? That's what I feel. Me stopping and breathing consciously does to stress. Now, you could say, yeah, I do that and stress goes away, but I'm stressed out again. Okay. Yeah, because the stress is, you haven't addressed the main problem, right? But if you can at some point release some of the stress, you're lessening the burden onto you that you're carrying. You're lessening that burden. I highly recommend writing stuff out. I really, really do. Talk about giving your stress wings and letting it fly away. Just write it out. It doesn't have to be neat penmanship. It doesn't have to be nothing like that. Just write out whatever is stressing you out and then burn it, get rid of it, shred it, however you want to get rid of it. Just take away its power. It's a little stress relief that'll help. William James says the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. That's great. That is a great quote. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. And as I like to say, every single moment we're alive is a chance at rebirth. Why is it rebirth? Because you get to choose what your next moment is going to be. You get to choose what your next thought is going to be. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed and it feels like the thoughts are being blasted into our heads, especially if it's something that's giving us, stress and tension. If you were to, make a conscious decision to choose a thought of something that's more calming, more peaceful, something that brings you joy and happiness, a moment in your life that you were happy. Choose that. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another, and sometimes choosing no thoughts is beneficial. Clearing your mind. So many joyful thoughts. If you really think about it, there's so many joyful thoughts in your life. I think if you are actively searching for those types of thoughts, you'll find them, and you may realize that you had been miscategorizing them. You're like, you know what? That was a happy time. Why did I not, why did I think otherwise? We just have to think of them. Katrina Mayer says the day she let go of the things that were weighing her down was the day she began to shine the brightest. I don't want to generalize, but the common trope is that women take on everything. They're willing to take on everything. And I know I have women in my life who are like that. They will take on everything, but nobody asks them to let it go. And they don't sometimes allow themselves to let it go. Like they feel, it seems, because I don't know, but it seems like they feel they have to hold on to that burden that they took on. Like they have to prove something. Not knowing that they have proven so much already. They've proven their strength and their resilience and their beauty and their awesomeness that is being a woman. The day she let go of the things that were weighing her down was the day she began to shine the brightest. Shine bright. Let go of the things that are weighing you down. Ralph Waldo Emerson, so many amazing quotes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I'm reading it and I can't say it right. Into the woods we return to reason and faith. There I feel that nothing can befall me in life, no disgrace, no calamity leaving me my eyes, which nature cannot repair. That's got some layers to it, doesn't it? In the woods, we return to reason and faith. There I feel that nothing can befall me in life, no disgrace, no calamity, leaving me my eyes, which nature cannot repair. I may have to chew on that one a little bit longer. There may be different ways of saying it, different stresses in the words that I may be stressing incorrectly. There I feel that nothing can befall me in life. which nature cannot repair. So no matter what, nature will repair it. Isn't? But I think it's the stillness and the calmness and the faith and the being one with nature for Ralph Waldo Emerson that is a thread in his writings, in his thoughts. It's beautiful, though. It's really nice. Oprah. Oprah said, breathe. Let go. And remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. Oprah. That's a fact. It's like when I talk to people about protection and investing and all that. It's like this is the only moment, the moment that we're at right now is the only one you know you have for sure. Tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's promised, it's not guaranteed. Like we can plan. We can envision ourselves 30 years from now. Some sort of idea of what our life or what we hope our life will be. But we don't know. It's no guarantee. Breathe. Let go. And remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. The only one you know you have for sure because you are living it right now. And if another moment is granted to us, be in that moment and enjoy that moment. Relish that moment. If you have an opportunity to spend time with someone you love, someone you care about, someone you respect, someone you look up to, someone who makes your life better, be in that moment and cherish that moment and relish that moment because that moment will be gone. Breathe. Let go. James Allen again. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. I need to look into that more. Wisdom. He says, calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. Let's extrapolate from that. What is that telling us? That means there are other jewels of wisdom, right? You can't just take what someone says and leave it as a one-dimensional thing. There's more to it. Whenever anybody says anything, when somebody says something hurtful, there's something behind it. When somebody says something pleasing or something loving, there's more behind it. What are the other beautiful jewels of wisdom? Acceptance? Empathy? Clarity? This is a jam-packed quote from James Allen. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. I can't believe it. We're already getting to the end of this list. The 19th of the 19 calming quotes. To help you stress less. Fittingly, the last quote is from Buddha. This is good. This is. Yeah. When you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. Oh my gosh. When you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. That's some good stuff. There's some great quotes shared on this article. I really, really enjoyed this article. And I hope you listening to this exploration into these quotes helped you in some way, shape, or form, even if it was a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. I hope it was beneficial to you in some way, shape, or form. At this moment in time, as I'm recording this or as I'm live on Facebook with this, we're getting ready to go into a weekend. It doesn't matter when you're watching this. I hope the rest of your day goes well. I hope you find ways of letting go of stress. And let's take a moment before we end. Here we go. Me doing this helps me relieve stress. It brings me joy. I hope you found some little measure of joy. And if not, I hope you find it later today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Great next couple of days until I return on Monday at 8 a.m., God willing. And you find some joy. Until then, we'll be talking.